Hello friends, my name is Jose Luis. This time I am going to show you how to make a bedside table. Very pretty, very easy to do. It has this wall light on top that would be an over drawer. It would serve to place jewelry or small things. And here the lower part would be for larger things. A book comes in, anything you want to keep. Very easy to do. In the next video we are going to make the bed that would match these little tables. I am going to leave the measurements in a featured comment. I hope you like it, and let's get to work. We are going to cut the grooving recess to the boards of the overdrawer. They're marked to cut in half, approximately 9 millimeters. We lower the saw blade, we place approximately 1.4 centimeters from the edge, and we control it and we pass it. We cut the 4 boards in half for the white fibro plus that we are going to place. There we look to also cut the groover for the drawers. This, which would be the back of the drawer, we are going to cut from both sides. We also leave it 1.4 centimeters from the edge. There we cut it and pass it to the other side and remove the remaining piece. We cut those other 3 remaining in half, and we look at the prettiest face. We also mark the edge with a little arrow on the inside. Let it be noticed, we mark it at 2.3 centimeters and a half. There we mark it at 22.5 centimeters and we mark it back 2.3 centimeters and in the middle. There we mark it at 10.5 centimeters. This would be to place the slider and this would be to place the screws. What is for the screws? We mark it on the outside, softly, nothing more. The middle line, that would be for the screw. There we mark it at 2.5 centimeters and 2.5 centimeters from the sides, and we divide it among the rest. That would be 4 screws. There we mark for the slider to 2 centimeters. They're also at 2 centimeters, and that would be to place the screws for the outside. Softly we just mark it, because that we will have to sand later. There we place the stopper on the 3-point wick and then we drill a depth of 7 to 8 millimeters. We have to pay attention that if we put the metal stop, do not tighten, because it marks on the wood. We disassembled the telescopic guide and then we began to place. We marked with the punch on the line of the pen. It would be 2 centimeters from the edge of the front. There it would be 2 centimeters, and there I show you how to put it together. We also look at the most beautiful edge. We put it, and the prettiest face, that would be the top cover. And we started to assemble. We drilled a little bit with the guide bit. We didn't drill it all the way because it's from the tip of the pine and it's a very soft pine. It's not that hard, that's why all the more reason. We just drilled a little, just to direct the screw. We put it in, match and place the remaining screws. We clean the vinyl glue. We accommodate it and place the bottom board, the floor. We put a screw, we place it square. I turn it over, I check it back, and screw the bottom one and then the remaining screws. I turn it over and place it evenly. I mark it with the 3mm guide wick, and he placed the screws and I fixed the square by measuring the crossed ones. I am going to place the plugs to cover the head of the screws. I already have these plugs worn at the tip, because that way it sticks better. I clean the tail and cut them. I start to put together the little drawer that goes over the drawer. I place it even and I'm going to screw it. I also apply the other side. And to this we are going to place the Fibro Plus. Keep in mind that the white part must be facing inwards. And we assemble the drawer and clean the traces of glue. And we check the square, measuring crossed. Then we polish the sides, and to the two strips we put two little nails of 10 or 8/30. We put vinyl glue on it and nailed it. We clean the vinyl glue and sand the edge and the sides. There we look at which is the bottom part of the 35 centimeters long drawer. We mark it at 10 centimeters, because in the cabinet we mark 10.5 centimeters. Then it gives us a light. To the front part we place the slide well even. We make the points with the punch and place the screws. We turn around so as not to make a mistake in that way, and we place it on the other side. Now this would be the bottom part. That would be the opposite. And that would be the back. I turn it over, so the top edge is even, and where the white Fibro Plus would enter, it is on the top. Then I screw them in. I set the square. I am going to polish the edge and remove the edge with 80 grit sandpaper. I also finish sanding the overdrawer by hand. And there I place the white Fibro Plus with flathead nails. To this side where the front of the drawer would be screwed, we are going to pierce it with a 4mm bit that fits loosely into the screw. We are going to place 5 screws. At the front of the drawer we mark it in the center. At 1.3 centimeters we dotted it, and we placed the Frosner wick and drilled it, placing it on a piece of wood and adjusting it well, so that it doesn't splinter us. Then it ends up making holes further down and our drawer doesn't splinter. There we mark it and cut it with a saw or with a jigsaw. That would not be inconvenient. We sand it with 80 grit sandpaper. We also pass the orbital to the edges and also a little to the front, and we finish it by hand. We place the white Fibro Plus at the bottom of the cabinet. We put the bottom part even and we center it, and we assemble it with flathead nails 10-20 long. We place the drawer and place 2/3 below it, which would be 3 millimeters. We put a press. In this way we adjust it we bring it closer and hit it a little bit, centering the light. There we take it out and we put 2 screws in the upper part. We take out the press, we loosen up and look. I hit him. I place the other screws and I tighten it again to the one above, and I take out the press, and that's it. Low to the floor to sand, I sand that across with the belt sander. It can also be sanded by hand with a 80 grit sandpaper block, always traversed first, then along. And this would be the front. I sand it with the orbital. Good friends, the bedside table is ready, this one that we just made and this one that I already had ready, making the game with the bed. It was very pretty, very easy to make. This model of the overdrawer is very interesting because they have space to store smaller things and larger things in the lower part. Well friends, if you like it, give it a like, share it with your friends. Any questions, comment, I'll be answering. See you in the next video. Bye bye.